Happy Sabbath, great peace, great wonders, great understanding, great knowledge to you all. I wanted to talk about how the diet that we eat today is very inflaming, has much inflammation, not information, and how if we need to find ways to get away from it because it's leading to like starvation. When when I look at foods like fried chicken, because my family they eat this way. I think I'm the only vegan out of my first, second, and third cousins, the ones that I saw. Um, when I look at the way we eat, it leaves much to gather because I always think like if you have to warm food up in a microwave, you have to boil it. It's not meant for you to eat because, and I know people they like to taste it like pork, chicken, and stuff like that, but it's like it's something in nature that tastes like that, and it's probably mushrooms. We probably not growing the right type of mushrooms. But when I see like how your body hardens, your body turns very hard when you eat these type of foods. And I also notice like when you eat vegan raw, like your body starts to shed and it starts to get like very comfortable. Like this is why I had to stop making videos about like foods that I'm uploading that I try out. Like, and I may still try them out in the future, but it won't be as extensive. Like I'm really going towards like just eating fruit and eating onions. I don't want to try tomatoes no more because like tomatoes they can be very astringent. And so like I already drink water, so like I don't need to eat tomatoes really as much. So like when I see like people that eat like a lot of chicken, a lot of rib tips and stuff like that, like it can harden the body. Cause like I noticed like when I was like not moving as much, like not going outside as much, um, and I would eat takeout a lot. Like I wouldn't eat fruit, I wouldn't eat vegetables. Like I noticed like how my body would like um it would harden up over time. Like it would I would get like kind of bigger. I would like blow up. And so like I noticed like when I was vegan, like 140 pounds, like I would only eat like chickpeas and that's all I would eat out the day, but I would have a headache. And there was nothing I can do about it because I didn't have the money. So I would eat chickpeas on a budget and like I would have a headache. And it's weird because it's like when you have a mortgage, you have bills and stuff like that, and you don't have like you in the food desert, like it can be very hard on you, and you're trying to figure out like, well, how can I get a nutritious meal to last me throughout the day? And like I notice like Native Americans, like they go through it because it's like, why am I eating like wild rice and like you have to boil it? So like if you eat this, like you're gonna pay for it like 4 hours after you eat it. All right, so you have mush, which is probably made out of bread. Like what is that called? Stuffed turkey, like dressing. That's what we used to eat on Thanksgiving. We used to eat a lot of dressing. And so I noticed like after a couple hours, like your body starts to harden after you eat it. So I'm just thinking like, how does the Sentinelese, the Jara people, how do they maintain their diets and like what do they eat? And I noticed like one of the children was eating like some of the children on one of the documentaries they was eating like honey, and so I noticed like they eat honey. So they preserve honey and they eat scavenger food. So I'm guessing like if they eat scavenger food, how much of it do they eat, and like how much of fish do they eat? Because it's weird like living in a forestry setting, you have to live off the land, and like if there's not enough to poach off the trees, it's like what are you going to eat? So that's something that I'm trying to learn right now. Because like they've kept their culture very hidden. They don't. They don't want to uncover what they really know about those hidden tribes, because like if people really knew like how those people live and how they got by, like people start to adopt that lifestyle. Because I'm thinking like, okay, cornbread and like kidney beans and corn, like okay, that's a Mississippi recipe. But like, hey, I mean, I wouldn't want to eat cornbread every day. Jiffy mix. I wouldn't want to eat that every day. That's what we call it in Chicago, Jiffy mix. I wouldn't want to eat that every day. Because again, your body hardens up after you eat it. And I noticed it with my mom. Like my mom, she don't eat fruit or vegetables. Like she just eat meat. Like that's her diet. Like, and I noticed like she dealt with like inflammation in her joints a lot. So I'm just thinking like fibromyalgia. What is it called? Fibromyalgia, when you deal with like joint pains and stuff like that. Like you don't want to deal with that. And like me, my body responds quickly. Like if I eat something that I'm not supposed to eat, my body will tell me very quickly. That's why I'm like. That's why I've been like content on being vegan all these years. Like my body, it just. This is why I cannot. This is why I can never like hold a job or career, because like I always have to eat the right foods. And like if I can't eat the right foods, like I'm not going to subsist. Like I would have to eat stuff like this when it's ripe off the tree. And like I don't have like forestry skills, but because I wasn't raised like by I wasn't raised like, you know, walking distance from like a forest where I can just pick stuff off the tree. But like or like dig potatoes out the ground. But like this is Native American diet. Like if you need these foods, it's probably you have ancestry that's DNA that's linked to this. Like if you need herbs, like you probably a Native American. It doesn't matter how you look, like you probably are Native American if you need this diet. All right, so we got pecans, plums, popcorn flour, raspberries. All right, so Solomon seal, strawberries, sweet potato. All right, so it says tobacco, and tobacco is edible, but you have to get the right tobacco. So like, all right, now animals. I went. A lot of people say like eat bison because it's rare, but like I wouldn't eat bison. I wouldn't eat rooster. I wouldn't eat any of that because like it's you have to slaughter it and it leaves a smell after you slaughter it. Like I don't like smells in my house. All right, like I'm not going to leave an open lid open in the kitchen so rats can come in and feast off the meat. Like I'm not going to have meat in my garbage can. All right, so soul food. So soul food is like bush meat, same thing. It's even worse because like with bush meat, it's like eating right after it's killed. But like with this, like you get it at the grocery store, so it has antibiotics in it. You get the wheat off the shelf, so it's hard. It's maybe expired. Like soul food is no better, man. Like, and I think soul food is probably going to be, it's going to run out of. I think it's going to run out of options in the future because like a lot of the old people they're dying off, and like who's gonna who's gonna be in the kitchen cooking Sunday's food? Who's gonna have a house where they can invite people over? Like, you know, like who can afford that type of house and setting where you like sitting at a table and have inviting family members over for like Thanksgiving and stuff like that? Like those times are gone. Like we had it and we lost it. I think a lot of people are going to be doing farmer markets. I think a lot of people are going to be going back to hunter gathering where they're outside with no clothes on. I think we're going back to that. Like we're not doing Thanksgiving biblical feasts anymore. Last suppers. We're not doing Last Suppers no more. It's kind of ironic that it's called Last Supper. All right, so this is how it looks like in the community. Um, Big Mama, she got the food on the table. All right, so she got some stuff going on the floor there. Um, I wasn't raised in this type of setting, so I never saw this growing up. This looks like down south. So I had chitlins when I was like 9 years old, maybe 12. I like the taste of it, but then again, like, why am I eating chitlins when that's, hog guts? Like, why am I eating that with hot sauce and cornbread? Right? So it's nothing wrong with it if you like it. They may come out with vegan chitlins one day. Um, you know, more power to you. Okay, it says right here, barbecue squirrels. I never tasted squirrel meat before. So I never tasted coon meat before. But like I have family members who hunted it. My grandfather, he hunted it. So, all right. So, this is kind of interesting right here. I like the depiction. Confederates and Union soldiers. All right. All right. So I guess the Confederacy, they won the South. Same people, Union. I mean, like, America's like the freest country ever, most developed country. It's just a matter of people just getting out, traveling. All right. Like, imagine going to a little shop like this, touching the brick, like the way it's built, and seeing the fall trees in the background. Like, it's a peaceful setting. I never been to places like this. All right, so you got right here, chili bowl, Ben's chili bowl. I never been to Washington, D.C. I never been to this type of setting. I'm pretty sure it smells good outside the joint. But like it says right here, it's a Washington landmark, so, gotta love it. All right, so we got right here. And again, like, the only reason I pressed on this hyperlink is because it says it was an indigenous food of America. Soul food. Like, how many people eat soul food and have tried it? You know what I mean? Like, I think soul food is some of the best food. I've tried, like, every dish. I think soul food is the best. I just wouldn't eat it because it causes inflammation in your joints, and it's not healthy. So this is my mother's staple right here. She likes ham hocks. She likes boiling her collard greens with pork. So this is something that she likes. She likes cooking stuff like this as well. We had these before school. Grits, eggs, and bacon. Grits, eggs, and sausage. Yeah, so this soul food, like, this is a staple on the south side of Chicago. If you grew up in those times, you grew up during that decade, like, this is what you experienced. We didn't cook with soy-based products. We didn't cook with tofu. I kind of recognize tofu to be like an Asian staple. Our tofu was like ham hocks. All right. All right, so let's look at something a little different. So they eat their meat kind of fresh. Um, they kill the seal and they slaughter it. So they eat walruses. And I wouldn't live like this. I wouldn't eat like that, even though I like winter year round. I like fall year round, actually, not winter. But um, let me take that back. Spring year round. I like spring year round because that way it's not that hot and it's not that cold. Um, yeah, like I wouldn't eat stuff like this. I wouldn't eat it. It's good that they live a long time. It's good that they share with each other. Because I always wonder, like, if they only eat stuff like this in this type of environment, why are they not dying from colon cancer? Because if you eat a lot of meat, you get inflammation in your joints. Like, sure enough, like you're gonna get colon cancer eventually. So you can see right here, they eat food that's around them, and there's no trees around them. So it looks like here, this looks like soul food. Just like Kool-Aid. Maybe you got a pork chop, some beans. All right, so it says right here accessibility and availability. In one community, from a case, it was the consensus that the price of market foods in the northern community were very high, and that there needed to be government implemented policies that would help lower the cost of food in more remote locations. This is why I don't like to live in communities where you can't travel off the government's dime. Um, because for that matter, like if you live in a community, you don't have transportation, like you only have to rely on one mode, and that's a car. Um, it's unfortunate because like your government is supposed to make sure you have a market around you. Cause back in the 20s, like it was common to see like a black family, like you could see like the mother be at home and the father be on the street with a newspaper selling watermelon, peanuts, squash, all type of stuff, like in front of a marketplace. This is common that you see in Haiti and places like the Caribbean and like Africa, where they selling like bush meat on markets and stuff like that. Like this is common. You don't see that now. You don't see that now in America. I don't see it. I don't see it broadcast on news, on television. I don't see it. All right, so we have here like health concerns. So your diet is stemmed from suicide, anxiety, depression, developmental delays, birth weights. Um, this is why I advocate, like, you have a child, make sure they drink supplements. Make sure you get them a good supplement so they can drink, so they can get their zinc, their iron, their protein, their vitamin D, and make sure it's plant-based. Don't give them that milk-based stuff that it's come from cows and they say it got a lot of vitamins in it. Don't give them that, because that's going to create a lot of pus in the body. So we sourced up right here. We got a lot of sources, 17 sources. So like I made sure I took my herbs today. I'm only going to eat fruit today. I got some tomatoes if I need one of those. I got some onions. I can eat an onion raw. I just need something sweet to substitute it with, like an apple. So I can eat an onion and an apple. And then like when I go grocery hauling, I can get some honey. I can get some herbs, some peppers. Yeah. Like get some mushrooms. And like you don't have to cook the mushrooms. You can just eat the mushrooms as is. Just rinse them off. Cause I'm really against like cooking food, heating up food. Like I feel like food should be eaten raw. Like if you need something sweet, you can get something sweet in nature. You need some savory, you can get some savory in nature. You just gotta look around for it. This is why we need more local markets in underserved communities. So they're talking about expanding the red line in Chicago. My thoughts on that is that's good, because like they really need to make sure like they can, expand it more than that, because like the CTA should take you all the way to Indiana. That's how I feel. Like it shouldn't just take you to 130th Street. It should take you all the way to Indiana. Like you get on the red line, give you a straight shot right down south. Then you got the Amtrak where you're crossing over with it. But like Chicago, that's a fortunate community. Again, I wouldn't want to live there. I wouldn't want to live around the people, because like when you're in an environment where people like to fight, they like to shoot, they like to stab, they like to rob, they like to break into stuff. It leave a lot less to be desired. And then, like when you look around the communities, there's not many grocery stores. There's just a lot of corner stores where you can buy quarter chips, quarter juices, candy. I could just remember like growing up there, like having my mom, like she used to take us shopping cart and get on the bus. So you got to get on a bus all the way to go get some meat. Like I wouldn't do it. Like I would be forced to like live off the land very quickly, like find a good area. And this is how a lot of wars started, with like the tribes, because there wasn't enough to go around, or people just didn't want to work, or people just lost skills. Like if I'm going here, I'm going there. Well, I need to know how to farm. I need to know how to bush. I need to know how to harvest. All right. I need to know these things, because if I don't know how to get a berry off the tree, if I don't know how to shake a tree without breaking it, I'm going to make it bad for everyone else. So I like this squirrel right here. I think this is like a chipmunk. I like this squirrel right here. I don't see it around me. I only see the black ones and these right here. But I want to see more of these right here. That's something that I do plan on doing. Like once I get my home remodeled, um, because again, like when you get your home remodeled, like you have to worry about like am I close to my budget that I can afford? Like what am I doing? Like am I just dumping money into a property and then I don't have anything left over to supplement the environment with? Like, so you got to be very careful about scams. You got to be very careful about how, because your government, the person who is elected in there, they can be a scam too. So, and we've been seeing a lot of scams with the government. This is why I don't put much faith into them, and I just kind of focus on the stock market. But like releasing more of these into the environment, man, like that'd be great. I keep saying like having an environment with diverse species that will help grow the environment. This is why I got someone to service my lawn, like service my trees that stop them from dying off and falling apart. This is how you want it. So we see these right here a lot in Michigan. And you can see right here it's eating a plum. It's not eating a chicken wing, it's eating a plum. So their senses are very strict. They know what is food, they know what is nourishing, and they know what is not. Like you have to be very strict with your kids. Like I wouldn't have kids now because I feel like if I'm in a relationship with the woman, she has to bring um, what I have to the table. Like she has to bring she has to have code about her and conduct. Like she has to have like I would love for her to have a pension. Like forget a credit score. Like I would love for her to have a pension because credit score just means debt. Um, so like that's another thing I'm glad about. Like I don't have any debt. Like if I'm in a relationship with a woman, like she can program her children to be like the environment around them, like nature. Like you want good children, you want to make sure you have good children. You want to make sure that they see that they think well, they eat well. Well, you have to put the right programming in front of them. Make sure that they're watching nature. Make sure they're hearing sounds of nature 24/7. But a lot of that, man, it's progress. Like you got to be very strategic about every play you call in life. You call one wrong play, you can lose the Super Bowl. You can lose the championship. These squirrels right here, I do like a lot too. These red squirrels. I don't know what they are, but I will find out. All right, so they are on the crest in Finland. All right, so they're like in Russia, the mountainous regions in Russia and Europe. Yeah, like bring some of them over here. Like we can use these. All right, so I'm gonna close out. Let's make sure the environment is healthier today. Let's make sure we're headed in that direction. Let's make sure we say hello to everyone that's around us. All right, great peace.